Hey there, in this video we are going to look at what an exponent is, what it means, and how we can evaluate a basic base with an exponent. So exponents really represent multiplication of a number by itself a certain number of times. Specifically, whatever the exponent is tells you how many times you multiply the base by. So for example, instead of writing out 5 times 5 times 5, we can write 5 to the third power. And again, this can be called, or this can be said 5 to the third power or 5 to the power of 3. And this would indicate 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 being multiplied 3 total times here. In this example, 3 is considered the exponent. So this upper number is the exponent, and then 5 is considered the base, and that is the number that the exponent is sitting on. You can also do this with variables. So for example, y to the third power really means y times y times y. So whatever the base is being multiplied that many times, whatever the exponent is, essentially tells you how many times you multiply. So we can evaluate 2 to the third power, for example, is going to be 2 times 2 times 2. And eventually you'll get to a point where you know these without having to write them out. So here, 2 times 2 times 2, we can do 2 times 2 and get 4, and then still multiply by 2 there, and that's going to give us 8. So 2 cubed, and cubed is another way to say third power. 2 cubed is 8. 3 to the fourth power is going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now with this one, I would use the associative property of multiplication, and I would actually do 3 times 3 and 3 times 3, and I'd get 9 and 9, and then multiply those together, as opposed to doing 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3, and go on from there. So I would do 9 and 9 and get 81. So again, 3 to the fourth power will be 81. So here are some basic second and third powers. So again, it's numbers being squared, meaning raised to the second power or raised to the third power, and what those values are given these numbers on the left side. So these are the most common that you may see. So if we look down the left side here, for example, you can see 1 through 12 on my screen. The way you would read this would be 1 to the second power is 1, 1 to the third power is 1. 2 to the second power is 4. 2 to the third power is 8. If I come down a little bit just to show you the pattern continues, 8 to the second power is 8 times 8, which is 64. 8 to the third power is 8 times 8 times 8, which is 512. So this list goes on, and I show you here through 16. So you can always pause, screenshot, write down, take pictures, whatever you need to do to see this table here, and we can see what these numbers are. This can be something that can be helpful to have memorized, especially these lower ones, which will be even more common, but even beyond that to the 16. So in a quick summary, we've talked about exponents and bases. Remember that the base is the number being raised to the exponent. So that little number up top is your exponent, and then the base down here is our base. When we evaluate exponents, we can memorize them, or we can have them written out. So for example, 5 to the third power is really 5 times 5 times 5. And you could multiply 5 times 5 to get 25, and then multiply 25 by 5. And when you do that, you get 125. And that would be your answer for 5 to the third power evaluated. And then again, there is a table of exponents that you can memorize to help you in terms of saving some time on the test.